Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reading Sprints. Let us know what you're reading. I see a lot of people reading some of the same books, but then I see a lot of new stuff that I've never heard of before. So I'm excited to see what you guys are reading.
I'm super
and
excited.
We will share what we're reading. So, Tori, you want to start?
Well, I need help. So I have these two paperbacks that I really want to. I want to fit in.
Dark Queen.
Yeah.
Karaduki.
I have that one on my TBR too, but I like that cover.
Caitlin actually had an extra cover of this, or like an extra copy, and she sent it to me just because she was like, I know, like, you love Mafia, and it has a dancer in it. She's a ballet dancer. So it's like, ooh, I want to add this because it just came in this week. And I was like, do I do that? This one's Italian. And then this one is Cartel. Obviously, everyone's been reading this one. And I do want to get to this one too. So
there's something about like ballerina and a mafia because that's a pairing that I'm seeing all the time now. I just got sent one in the mail today that is a ballerina and the mafia too.
Yeah.
I'm like, interesting.
I feel like the only one I read is Sophie Lark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I read. And so when I read the synopsis for Dark Queen, I was like, ooh, because I love Stolen Air so much. So I was like, I want that one on my TBR.
I've found like 6 or 7 so far. I'll have to sign some of them.
Yeah, Bethany Chris has one.
But I did.
Yeah, Bethany Chris has one called Captivated, and then that one, Jen, you told me about.
The Mobster.
Yes, that one was okay. It was an average. Yeah,
I really like that one. And then the one I just got sent was called like Our Thing by an author I'd never heard of before. And then there's another one that I can't think of the name, but I think you should try the Dark Queen one because I haven't heard anyone's opinions on that. The Jessica Hawkins one, I've heard a lot of opinions now on it, but that's just my thought. You should try the one that nobody else is. That's what I
thought you were reading A. Zavarelli right now. Did you finish?
Yeah, I finished it. Oh, well, I was cooking dinner. I just finished it.
Oh, I was gonna say you were just reading it. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I finished it while cooking dinner.
Okay,
nice. Hold on, I gotta look up the name actually because I forgot. Okay, so I'm reading Keep by K. Blue and this was one of the, because all 5 of the books I put on my like the first 5 I'm gonna read, they're all ones that I've had on my Kindle for months. So I only went with those to choose from. And this one says it's Romanian Mob. And it starts with this woman is I don't know whether she was sex trafficked or whether she's just like being kept by this guy, but he has a business meeting and the guy he has the business meeting with, he tries to like offer her as like oh yeah, she'll pleasure you or whatever. And the dude's like, no, I'm keeping her. And he like takes her to get her away from this guy. And then he's like, you can leave or you can stay. And she's like, if I leave, he's going to get me again because every time I've run away. So she decides to stay. So that's the first 3 chapters of this book is that setup. So we'll see if it continues to be good or what happens. But there's 7 books in this Romanian series. So if it's good, I could have found a new thing to binge.
A new series to binge.
Right. That is a wonderful thing.
I love it. I'm reading... Hold on, I want to make sure because I have 3 books by this author on my extended TBR. Let's see if I can read even half the ones that I have. Tears of Salvation by Michelle Hurd. She's a new to me author. And this one is a Bratva romance and also kind of enemies to lovers because the heroine is the daughter of his like rival and she's in the Colombian cartel. So she outwardly poses as like this princess of the cartel and like a bubblehead, but secretly she's pretty badass. So, and they've met before once, but they don't know it yet. So it's going good so far. I'm enjoying it.
That one was one of the underworld reading her. Well, yeah, they're reading that like the Sinner series or like whatever I don't know what that series.
That was the one that I originally saw, the Taken by the Sinner, and that one's the Greek Mafia romance, and I was like, ooh, interesting. And I think also potential step sibling romance, but they're both like adults, like way adults. And then I saw a bunch of hers. I was like, oh, I've never heard of it.
A lot of people are, but yeah, the that Michelle Hurd is part of the Underworld Kings, and that's where I first heard of Michelle Hurd. I hadn't heard of her before, but she knows.
It's part of her series. I think it's called like Monarch Academy or whatever. I realized it when I was looking up because I have another one in that series on my TBR plus the Taken by a Sinner because they all sound interesting. So I hope I like this one by the end.
Yeah.
Tori, didn't you give it 5 stars?
Yeah, I gave Taken by a Sinner 5 stars and then Owned by a Sinner 5 stars, even though I liked Owned by a Sinner like better. I like the hero better. But I read her. She has one called Cruel Saints that I read last year. I think I don't know if it was for the Mafia Romance Readathon last year, or maybe I read it right after. But that one is also not intertwined, but like the names come up that like from different series of hers, which is interesting.
Oh man, everyone's reading such great books.
I'm reading Ghost. Which is
Do you have the audio for that, Jess?
No, I'm just physically reading it.
Oh, okay.
I have another audio lined up that I'm going to read.
Okay.
Yeah. This weekend. I know a lot of people are reading Sophie Lark.
I mean, we have a lot of newbies.
Yeah.
I would love to know in the comments who read their first Mafia this weekend, because that's what I'm all about, man. Who was brave enough to try it? I know there's a lot of people that said that they started it for the first time last year and they've been reading it all year. So that makes me very happy. But
I did read Heavy Crown and I was very disappointed. So
I did
not want to put the 5 in.
Made me laugh. You've read The Air though, right? Didn't you read The Air already? Yeah. Okay. That's really why you read Heavy Crown, not to be that, but I don't totally love them either.
That one wasn't my favorite one.
That book, the romance isn't my favorite. It's about the changes that are happening in, like
why they're rivals. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's more about it's setting up the next generation. So I'm sorry it wasn't your favorite, but it's also important.
Yeah. Well, isn't it Dean and Leo are cousins?
Yeah.
But did they not know they're cousins?
No, they knew they're cousins.
No, they know.
Okay. They know.
I don't remember.
Because like he knows that Yelena is his aunt. So very interesting.
Okay, I'm trying to go through these. Lots of J.C. Geisinger, which is really exciting. Lots of people.
Makes me so happy.
I know, I love those.
Condemned to Love. Oh, that one was good. Savage Lover or Mafia Mistress. Nice. The cover.
I was not a big fan of Savage Lover, so I vote Mafia Mistress. Next.
But you have to read Savage Lover to keep going. So
I know. No, Tori skipped it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but most people aren't going to do that. A lot of people will listen to, like, if I tell the tropes, the people will hate it. But I liked it better upon reread especially once I have read all of it. I liked it upon reread because I was like, oh, these two. It's more of a heist novel than it is a Mafia novel.
Yeah. Which then, like, that does matter, though, for book 6. Mm-hmm. So, like, I get why you should read them in order.
Yeah. And I think it depends on if you're someone who's like willing to read books that are rated lower in the series to keep going, because some people like we just will. Like I would have read it anyway, even if I'd known I wouldn't love it as much, because it's like it's going to get you where you need to go. But some people are like, I can only handle the books that are, I need to be engaged the entire time through, which is fair. Like it's fair. Man, Praise is
so good. So good.
Oh, somebody was really mad about it the other day. They were like, why is everyone talking about this like it's so great? And I was like,
because it is.
Or maybe it was Eyes on Me. They might have said that about Eyes on Me.
I saw a really bad review of Eyes on Me.
Yeah, it might have been Eyes on Me.
Which I haven't read yet.
And not spoiling it, like the things they were mad about, I agreed with them that they were mad about. But for me, the payoff did pay off what they were mad about for me, because I don't think we see heroes with mental illness like that very often. I don't think you see that kind of stress in a hero who's so put together, Like I don't think
the Italian tail.
I didn't know the Italian was a Mafia one.
Oh yeah, she has 2 Mafia ones.
It's me,
and 2 of them are connected to the Mafia ones. It's a telenovela. My favorite thing to say. It is a hot mess the entire way.
It's so hot mess.
Those are her books for me that I like. Don't compare them to the Miles High Club. The Miles High Club is her excellent writing. All of her other stuff is let me tell the craziest story I can tell. Which is what I love.
So Jen, I know you just read this and I just read this.
Yeah, we have very different thoughts, kind of.
It's not really captive though, which I thought it would
No.
be. But it's not.
And that's what I said in mine. I said it's captive. It's
Yes.
if you well, I'm describing it as like I'm gonna read the whole trilogy because to me it's still beating, but Mafia. It's Mafia still beating. That is what it is.
Yes.
The first one is like there's not enough to know whether I'm gonna like it or not. And that's why I gave it a 4 because I'm super intrigued by where they're going with that. But I understood why you were like, what was happening in this? Like the most passionate love scene in it is with her like ex-boyfriend.
Like you could have taken the first 60% and just like tossed it out the window.
Yeah, why didn't we start with them waking up as captive? Like that's what you do. And then you flash to stuff when they're getting knocked out all the time, you flash to stuff. But that's okay.
I was just annoyed with how it was arranged because I was like, okay, I cared about the last 40% of this book, but everything else was just annoying.
Yeah. No, but your thought was right. I'm just more like I was really impressed with the surprise because I did not know. And that's one where like the blurb for the first one and for the second one are very misleading. Because I read the blurb for the second book and I'm like, okay, now I know what's happening. We all would have thought it was a captive based on that. So I was like, well, that doesn't really count. But I love still beating, so I'm gonna try it.
Right. Okay. It did give me still beating vibes.
Depends, Tina, on what you mean by drugs. Do they contain drugs? Almost always. Are they always using them? Not always. So that's how I differentiate drug content for me. When I give a trigger warning for drugs, it's because they're using them. For me personally. Because the Mafia, that sex and drugs, that is what they're selling. People and drugs, that is what they are selling. So
I would say in most of the books that I read, it's more in the periphery. Like we don't actually see them. You just know that they deal it. But for the most part, I don't see them a lot. And I prefer it that way. So
me too.
You can read whatever you want on this live show, though, to talk about this comment. You don't have to read Mafia today.
Oh, no. I told people on mine, I was on my, because I shared it. I was like, you can just coming out because we're going to do a reading sprint. We're just obviously talking about the Mafia to begin with because that's what we're here for. But hi, Crystal. You're awesome. Does anyone know who the cover model for the Brit is? Oh my gosh, Niall DeMarco. Well, it's not him, unfortunately. But
is that Niall the model? Niall? Is Niall that model?
Yes, yeah, the death model from Project Woman. Yeah. Who was also on Switched at Birth, which is where I first saw him.
Really? I watched his season of America's Next Top Model. So that's
yeah. I loved him. But you should, just a note, Ruth, you should be able to look in the front cover and see who the model is for most books. You should be able to. We talk about this. Yeah, for a lot of them, it'll say the photographer and who the model is for most of them. That is a trick. Not at all, but like this one by J.T. Geisinger, it says cover design and photograph is of Chris Jensen by Michelle Lancaster, like it says inside. So also I just know this is Chris Jensen because he's gorgeous.
We were talking about though in our Historical Hellions live show how like every book now has to say cover design. Yeah,
and I was I was commenting on it in there, and even some that are like reprints will say if it wasn't a stock photo or it wasn't one of those, like it will say who it's of. But
yes,
take that for what the trigger warnings are too, Love Librarian.
Yes,
by Mafia Still Beating. Whatever the trigger warnings were for that, they hold for this one. Cora Riley, she's still a good starter in my opinion. I still think she's a good starter for a lot of things because she's quick, she's easy, she makes a lot of things easy to understand. And then when you move on to other books, you'll be able to say, wow, these are so much better than these ones.
I think she's saying that she likes Cora Riley better than anything else she's picked up, though.
Well,
I don't know if she wants more like
the world, so my thoughts.
I mean, I like her Kimura Chronicles, but
I like 3 of her books.
Yeah.
Which are from the Kimura Chronicles.
Yeah. I think
I don't like all the Kimura Chronicles, but the first 3 I'm like, Love them.
Because Tina, I would ask, like, which other Mafia books have you tried? Because maybe you haven't tried the right ones. Not to sound high and mighty about it, but
I mean, I didn't
I
like
would-
Mafia
just
for the
would
longest time, and then Jen started sending stuff my way, and I tried the right ones then.
I mean, Maggie Cole, 11, 12 books coming all in one world. They do the same thing. Like, we're getting brothers and sisters and arranged marriages and falling in love. And Sophie Larks does that. Serena Ackroyd's does that. And I don't know. I find their worlds very rich and they all connect pretty well. So, yeah. Oh,
Cool.
Lizelle.
Mafia Mistress is now out on audio. I just saw that.
Yes. I do not like the voice of the hero very much, though.
Oh,
I
no.
listened to the clip and it's like
Oh, okay.
full Sicilian for his voice, and he sounds like a grandpa. Just finished Queens and Monsters. Oh, Julia,
I'm only read the 2 books in that series, but it's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. You'll be able to, Lizelle. I mean, it is tough. It is tough. Tina's gonna try Maggie Cole Sweet. Yes. Crystal. Crystal, you're reading one right now. Are you okay? Are you okay still? She's reading Savage Tracker. I haven't had an update yet today. How are you doing? So,
I do think that Sophie Lark is good if you like Cora Riley, because she has the same kind of like world building.
Yeah.
Cora does.
Yeah, with less annoying heroines. Don't hate me, but it's true.
Well, a lot of Coras, they like just sit in their house.
Yeah.
And like don't go out and do
And their men
anything
like make them sit in the house.
Yes.
Fragile Longing and Teddy Hamilton. Yeah. Yep. Teddy Hamilton's in Fragile Longing?
I would say I didn't know Teddy Hamilton did any Mafia.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
He's
he
more
has
of
done some. I've read another one that he's into. I have to look it up. He's done some.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much. This is my biggest complaint about her later books in this series. Stop with the multiple point of views. I don't care.
Yeah. You said, yeah.
Like that aren't in the company.
No, there are. There's
Filthy and Filthy Rich basically just have the couple's point of view. And then suddenly in Filthy Dark, we have a lot of siblings' point of views and like all kind of stuff. And I'm just like, why?
The bikers' point of views.
Like a biker's point of views from the other series. And I'm just like, that's way too much. I don't care. I want to know what the couple's doing. Like we're doing too much. Yeah. And it's very annoying because the romance is really good.
Yeah.
I love the romance in all the Filthy books. But once she starts sticking those POVs, those extra POVs, I'm just like, no, it's sad.
I'm kind of committed to it at this point because I do love all the characters. So I'm okay that they're popping up. But when the bikers pop up, don't like it. When the dad and the mom pop up, don't like it. But like, I'm okay with the siblings being in it to a point. I just don't like the amount that it is. But
I guess I'm just like, I like them having their dedicated book. And I'm like, I like seeing them in the background, but we've already had your book and I don't really need your thoughts anymore. Like just talk to my characters. I want the thoughts of my characters for this book. So, but I still like seeing them.
Yeah. I still want y'all to read it. Yay, Crystal. You made me happy. Cool. She's loving it.
That's why the Vicious Prince confused me because like the cop got like a chapter and I was like, is this cop going to be important? And then he was never talked about again.
Right.
And I was like,
that would annoy me.
Why?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he obviously will have an arc through the trip, but I was like, why did you introduce him here? You know, this FBI guy.
Yeah. Mafia Mistress, she just posted like an hour ago that it's on audio. So,
wow.
Okay. We can start reading. How long do you guys want to read for?
Well, are we going to do a couple tonight?
Yes, we're going to do 2.
Okay. So maybe just 30-minute ones then, if we'll do a couple.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good. We will go until 7:50 my time.
Sweet.
I guess we can do 7:51 since it just changed. Sorry if that bothers anybody, but
I don't care.
Okay. comfy. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How did your reading go?
Good.
Always getting
This is
distracted.
so sad.
Oh my god, I know, right?
I haven't read that one in a long time, but I do remember it being a little sad.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like way more than the other books. Oh.
This is pretty good.
It's
Yeah?
good.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm a
excited.
sucker for a ballerina, so maybe that's it, but I don't know.
Did you read her Seven Deadly Sins book?
No, I've only read Gianna's.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
hers is the first, and I wasn't a fan.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I've been
her
hesitant.
writing is okay. It's a little wordy, but yeah. I know I like some of the, there's some like quotes that I like. So yeah, so far so good.
I read one of her Underworld Kings ones too. But it was an MFM, and I don't really like those. But I mean, like, the book was good, but I don't really like those.
Starts off brutal, this one. It's definitely a Mafia book.
Yeah.
I know. I've just been picking up really dark Mafia romances for this readathon.
This one's not that dark. And it took a turn that at first I was like, I don't like this decision. It sounds really stupid, but it's playing out in a way that I kind of like. So now I'm surprised and I like it. So
Nice. Yeah.
Is this Maggie Cole?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They all have the same words, like ruthless, dangerous. I don't remember what's what.
That's why last year I had if it had ruthless in the ruthless or brutal was the word last year. This year.
Yes.
yeah.
Brutal's in a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of series have both brutal and ruthless in the series, so it's usually pretty good.
I have not heard of Mafia Daddy before.
Me neither.
I haven't read that. There's one by Bianca Cole that I actually have on my list. That one's called Mafia Daddy too, so that's funny.
Oh my god, there's a ton of books called Mafia Daddy.
Yeah. I mean, people go with it, I guess. I feel like Mafia Mistress could have just as easily been called Mafia Daddy. Like,
Oh my god, yes.
it's literally Papino in that one. I was like, this one could be a
Oh.
Mafia Daddy too.
Mafia Daddy is like a novella.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
By Renee Rose.
Yeah, it's 88 pages. The paperback's $5.88.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone. But it's $0 on
Oh.
Kindle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Bianca Cole has Mafia Daddy too. Because I actually have that one on my
Yes,
actually
for Mafia
own
Daddy.
that one. Because that one is a possibility to come up.
Mafia Daddy's little captive.
Oh,
Strong Mafia Daddy. Daddy's Mafia Princess. There are so many
There's
of
a
this.
lot of Mafia daddies. Never knew.
There are.
I mean,
Mafia Daddy, protect me. Just let us know.
Mafia Bride. Oh, yeah. That's not sexy.
But I feel like that's dark romance, more common. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's C.D. Riso, right? Mafia Bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the reason I don't read her anymore is her level of BDSM isn't sexy to me. That's my personal opinion. Oh, hey girl.
Hey.
I know a lot of people love her.
I have not watched the new movie.
I haven't either.
I skimmed 90% of it. I'm not even gonna pretend otherwise. I tried.
I was okay watching the first one, but I didn't need a second one. It was
I still stand the first. Agree. Like I will still stand the first one. I literally have a video.
For the first one, I still have fun with it, but this one I was just like, I don't know.
80% of the movie was slow mo. Or sorry,
No.
sex. I'm sorry. I'm on just
Slow-mo sex?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah. 80% of it, I'm not even kidding with you.
Slow-mo?
Yeah, slow-mo.
That sounds so weird.
With really awkward faces that they're making.
Yeah.
Oh God! Now I just want to watch a little bit of it just so I could get it.
Oh, yeah.
I have
then
to
it's like-
go see the awkward faces.
They just
I saw
weird
somebody
music
post a
over it.
picture of him like licking her, and it looks
Yeah.
like the most awkward picture ever. And I was like, that doesn't look sexy to me.
It's
Like
one of
his
those-
tongue is
it's-
just way out there. I was like,
It's one of
okay.
those films where it's like, this is the idea of what people think that romance readers think is sexy. And it's like the opposite of that for me. Like, I don't know. Like, I like to read some raunchy things, but that's not how I like picture it. And so you thinking that's how we picture it is just weird to me. It's like a weird thing to me. I don't know. Renee Rose is hit or miss. Yep.
I've never
I mean,
read her. So.
Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
So much Mafia Mistress.
You are
I
reading.
have that one on my TBR as well. So
Bound by
Jenn
Blood, yeah.
intrigued me with her when she was telling me
did.
as she was reading it.
I did because I was like, sorry, I was like, I don't know why anyone likes this. I was saying that to her for between us, and then I immediately read the second one. I was like, oh my God, I appreciate these so much.
She goes, I'm
Like,
gonna have to go back on my word. I actually like these.
I was like, Jessen, don't listen to me. You should read these. I was like, I'm sorry. I take it back. Like the character.
Yes, make Carnal Urges a movie.
Oh my
The
God.
fact that they
Yeah,
chose
that's
this
book.
random Polish mafia to be
I
a
know, and
movie.
they had so many other things to pick from, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I know.
Right. Well, if anyone can do it, I believe that Sophie will get a deal. Like, she literally has someone working on it to get it. Like, Kingmakers could absolutely be something. It totally could be.
Yeah, but all the movie studios at the moment aren't taking anything that's set
Oh,
at academies or boarding school-esque.
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean, it's made for it. Like, someday.
Why?
There's just been an influx, and they were buying too many over the last 2 years, and all of them are like still in production, and like nothing's really happened, and some of them will probably get cancelled, so they're just not, people aren't buying them currently.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, and it's like you don't like want a place to buy it and then sit on it forever, because that's what
Right.
happens.
That's what happened to a
every
ton
book.
of people.
That happens
Well,
to every.
the difference, yeah, to avoid that, what they do is like, if you know that it'll happen, if like the movie, if the company buys it outright, it will happen ASAP. Like, they will get moving on it because they're putting all their money behind it. But if they're just optioning it, that means that it's then like, that's them being like, hey, well, who is actually going to finance this that they can then outsource to? So if they're not like outright buying it, that's why it then becomes so delayed. I mean, look, The Sky is Everywhere. It's just been turned into a movie this year. Along for the Ride just this year. Like, all these ones that I was like sitting on for like, The Sky is Everywhere. I read that like 10 years ago, specifically because
I read it a long time ago.
it was bought 10 years ago. So I was like, I'm going to read it now when the movie comes out. And it's 10 years later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Outlander was option, almost made films, almost made TV for 20 years before they because when an author too isn't super well known yet, they sell their options because they get the quick cash for selling it, and then it keeps coming back up and they keep reselling it until someone actually is like, we're going to make it now, Like, that was literally optioned for 20 years before it was done anything with. So,
but why are they doing so much YA? Like, everything is YA adaptations and not,
because they're doing well. The ones that they have been doing are doing well. Because they all look at Jenny Han. If it's not a Jenny Han, like, she's doing well, and then you also have The Kissing Booth. People didn't like it, but it did well, and so do all the Reese's book club picks. Those all do well. But when it comes to like adult, I don't really know how well did The Hating Game actually end up doing.
but that wasn't even like a big
That's
company.
not
That
YA.
was,
Yeah, I
it was,
know,
like,
but it was
small.
it's
and it was
still,
like really small release.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to pay to watch it? I don't remember how I watched it.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah,
you did.
I bought it
Yeah.
to watch it.
Yeah.
Although I think now it's streaming on something.
Okay.
I am not looking forward to the Akatar TV show.
The fans
No.
are already crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bitch. Like I'm so terrified.
There's no way they don't go too young with that. Like there's no way they don't go too young with that. Like if you give me a Reese who looks like a freaking
19-year-old,
22-year-old, yeah, if he looks like he's a friggin' jock or an emo, if you make him look like an emo from college, like I'm gonna.
Well, and like
Tamlin, do what you want. Make him look like
accent,
a pretty boy. Don't care.
yeah, I know. I'm very afraid. That's
Yeah.
what I was afraid for. That is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Like Shadow and Bone, they did well, but that also had like that series. Like was only bones. There was not like much meat. So like to turn it into something was an easy. Like it was a fun task for Lee to go back and like flesh everything out more.
Yeah,
Whereas
I also wasn't
fleshed out series.
I also wasn't as rabid for that series too. I think part of it is like that's a really like there's a lot that's good about that series, but there's also a lot that could be improved and made better. Like that series is very atmospheric, but it's not the same level of commitment that a lot of people have to Sarah J. Maas work. I'm just saying, like my
commitment is just nuts. You just there's some adaptations you just got to be soups careful with, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to read those, Lola. I'm absolutely doing them for the reread. I'm listening to the full cast. I love full cast, and like my personal opinion, I believe they're split in half because like they're expensive. Like they need to be paid twice to do it. So I think that's part of it. It's like they are very expensive. That's why they're taking a lot of time and a lot of work when you have a full cast to do it, because you can't just have the narrators recording at home alone. Like they do it in like dual, they do it together. And so that's why I think they're worth 2 credits in my opinion, is like they're expensive. If we want them to be made, like they need to get the return for it. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. Sometimes you got to pay more for what you love.
I think
can't see Agatha being American. Like I don't imagine like the Illyrians, everyone being like that's just a no. Like my brain, I'm like no.
People can do accents though.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I listened to plenty of voices that like when Ross has done, he's not Irish or Russian or any of those, and he does a good job. But anyway, that's my thoughts. I think it's great, and I'm very excited for them.
Tori, were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say graphic audio, that's normal that they split it in the parts. So I wouldn't be like, surprised if for like the next 2 or 3 books in the ACOTAR series, if it's 4 parts. So like I listened to Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, and I listened to the graphic audio. And Brandon, he listened to all of Brandon Sanderson's books through the graphic audio. Like he got all of them. And they're all split into parts because they record it that way. So they can release. Yeah.
I love Warbreaker.
Yeah. So it's actually really cool to listen to it. It's like basically a whole production. It reminds me of Real by Kennedy Ryan. If you listen to the audiobook for that, it was like a production. That's graphic audios are like that times 10. So they have like background noise and music and all this stuff. It's really cool. So it's really expensive.
So she's right. Like I'm sure like Aka War and the other ones, like they will be more parts.
Yeah, they'll probably honestly like I think there was for like Way of Kings, there's 6 graphic audio parts if I'm not mistaken. So if you know how big Way of Kings is, there's 6 parts.
It's about 1,200
You have
pages.
to buy all 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so expensive.
Separately. But it's he said it was worth it. So I was like, okay. Yeah. That's how he got through all of Brandon Sanderson's books. He listened to all of the audio.
I think, Jess, if you listen to, like, if you tried the first part and listen to it, you'll get it. Like, you'll see why.
No, and I the reason why I wanted to read the ACOTAR books like physically is just because I like physically reading fantasy because of all like the weird names and stuff. But now that I've read all of them, like listening to it, I'm good. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Would those, does graphic audio ever go on library or do they stay?
Yeah. Some people are getting in there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do know that if you have any play,
shut up.
Yeah. The ACOTAR is on any play.
Shut up. Oh my God. Well, that's
How do you know? Is it like labeled differently? How do you know if
Yes.
it's that one?
So
Yeah,
here,
it
like,
says
I'll show you.
Graphic Audio.
Hang on.
The other ones were done by Bloomsbury, I think.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, my Hoopla has it.
Yeah.
Hey.
There's people listening.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes. Okay.
Any
I love any play.
Yeah, it says graphic
love
audio in
any
the
play.
top corner.
Yeah, my thing's not loading, but yeah, it does say.
Yeah, because
Maybe
Saving
I'll
to a
read that one.
playlist.
the way that I have the read along done too, I think that the parts of Aquamath should be out by the time we read that one too. I don't know if they will for the other ones, but
Oh, right, because you're doing that. Yeah.
yeah.
How
Yep.
long is it going to take them to come out with all of them?
Huh?
There should be on Graphic Audio's website. Here, look, let me look it up. It should show you when they're going to come out. Like Brandon Sanderson's is set to come out later this year for his new book or something. Yeah. Look at it really quick because I'm curious.
I mean, I'm sure they were pretty far into production for the whole series before they started popping.
Yeah.
You know, because they know
Okay.
they'll want to keep people on it.
True.
Dude, I'm now so excited. Did not know.
Oh,
I'm glad
it's
Yeah, thanks,
for-
Tori.
Sorry, for A Court of Mist and Fury, it looks like there's only going to be 2 parts. It says 1 of 2. And that release date, April 11th, 2022 for that one.
Oh, wow.
So it's already
Even
out.
though the first part of Aquamath is up there already on any play.
Yeah, and
Boom.
then May 18th for the second part of Akamath, and then A Court of Wings and Ruin is 1 of 3. So yeah, that one's going to be 3 parts, and that one comes out June 29th, the first part.
That's gonna be perfect. I'm so excited.
But that one, the digital format, if you go to Graphic Audio, their actual website, it's only $11.99 for the digital format. So that's kind of expensive, but I mean it's cheaper than audio credit, if like an Audible credit, if you think about it. Even though it is a couple of parts, but yeah. So yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can get the 3 credits for $35. So that's how I always decide whether I like buy it or whether I use a credit.
Yeah.
But any play. That's
Any
awesome.
play only lets you go up to 2.5?
1.75.
1.75. Okay.
That's so
But
specific.
with graphic, what?
That's so specific that it's not even like 2. It's like 1.7.
1.75.
But I feel like with the dramatic audios, though, you don't always need to go as fast as like with reading because they really are performing it. You know, it's like it's
actually shorter. I know, like the Brandon Sanderson ones for Warbreaker, it was 3 parts and they were 6 hours each.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a pretty long audiobook, but Warbreaker itself is a longer book.
Yeah.
Like 500 or 600 pages. And I listened to it, I think I went up to like 1.5 speed because there's music and stuff, but because you have different parts, it's not like he said blah, 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 or she said blah, blah, blah. It just switches back and forth from like me talking to you talking.
Oh, so they leave off the dialogue.
Or if someone's
cool.
walking, like he walked into the room, you literally hear the person walk into the room.
Oh
That
my
is
god, I'm
really
so
cool.
excited.
I'm so intrigued by this.
So it's like listening to the movie. if you weren't
Exactly.
watching
Yeah.
it. Okay.
It's a dramatized. I mean, that's what I'm assuming the ACOTAR, because Graphic Audio produced it. It's going to be the same, very similarly to how Warbreaker was, because that's the only one I listened to, and that is exactly how it was. It's like you had them fighting, you could hear the clashing in the background of them fighting and them yelling, and instead of saying "I yelled," blah 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 blah, he just yells it. So it cuts down the audio a little bit from what like you're reading. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
that's interesting.
I can listen just to experience and see what it's like.
It was actually really cool. At first, I started just reading Warbreaker, and Brandon was like, "No, just listen to it. I promise you're gonna like it." And I was like, "Fine, whatever. I think it's stupid, but I guess I'll try it." And then I loved it. So,
Again, Renee, I think that for the graphic audio, it'd be worth it. But the person who asked, "Do you prefer any play to the other?" It really does depend. If you're someone who you can't stand your audio to be under 2, it's not gonna be worth it to you. It won't, because it will drive you crazy. There are some books like historicals that I listen to on any play. That's what I use it for. And I'm okay with it because with accents, I need it to be slower anyway. But there are contemporaries, specifically, I remember it. There was a Max Monroe that I was listening to on any play, and it felt like my skin was crawling, how slow it was. I was like, literally talk faster. So I went and reactivated my script just to finish listening to this book on like 2.5 because it's so slow. So that is definitely a downside. It is like, that's a downside. And then they still do have glitches sometimes of like, there are bugs on any play. There absolutely is. But
you've had a lot more bugs than I've had. Like you constantly run into bugs.
Yeah, like it will, each new chapter will start back at 1.0 speed for me sometimes. So every chapter I have to move it back up. It's a pain, but that doesn't happen to everybody. A lot of people it works just fine. But again, it is literally unlimited books. And that's the draw for me, is it is unlimited. And they have tons of historical, tons of YA. They have tons of like just all the things on there. YA, there's romance, contemporary, like it has everything, and it literally is unlimited. So I'm willing to put up with a lot of crap to have unlimited access to books. And I don't think it's crap. I just think there are glitches that
there's just
make it tough. So anyway, that was my rant.
I could not do 1.75. I could not.
Yeah.
You'd cry.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't tried any.
I'm okay with it. I'm strangely okay with it. Normally, if I'm listening on any other thing, like I'm normally 2 above, like 2.3, 2.5. But I don't know. For any play, I'm like, I'm going to suffer through it. It's okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do use it almost exclusively for historical, though, for me. And then, like, a bunch of Carla Sorensens are on there, so I'm using it for those. But, or books that I'm not sure if I will like them. Any play is nice, because then I haven't used a credit on it.
Right.
Like, I got all of Claire Kingsley's on Audible, because I wanted the whole series. I love those. So
none of my libraries have her books, and I'm annoyed.
Yeah. I got most of them in the sale that they just had. Because I'd already bought like 2 of them, and then I got the rest in the sale. They're only $4 each. So.
Was that the sale a while ago or the most recent one?
The most recent one. It was a series sale, literally, like they were books in series. So I got a bunch of Sarah J. Maas in that for only $6.
Yeah, I didn't know Claire Kingsley was in that one.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know you wanted to read her. I would have been like, look.
I know. I just need them to have like a really good indie sale again, because that was so good. And I'm like,
I know.
when are you gonna do that again? Because
I know.
my trial's up. So
I spent like $100, but I got like 15 books. So
right, it's super cheap. And the good thing is like you keep them, so like you get to that they're there.
Yep.
Library.
I still hadn't even read like half of the ones I got from the one like before, and then I bought like a bunch more. So
yeah,
I was like, that was unnecessary.
It's so tempting because they're just so expensive, anyways. Audiobooks are.
Yeah,
this is true.
Madison, what are you reading?
I actually left my tabs in the other room too, so I need to go grab them. I'm reading Bloody Union by Brooke Summers. I love this. I'm loving it. Like it's so badass. And like on the back it tells you like a little bit of what it's about, but it kind of like just tells you the first couple of chapters, like, oh, she's in the Irish mob, he's in the Italian mafia. Like there's like a small age gap between them. Like obviously they were engaged and she was like 14 at the time, and they were like, for the alliance, when she comes of age, you guys will get married. And then like it's her marriage day, and there's like a massive shootout that happens. Not to do with either of them, but someone else. And they're like, and then it's him finding out that she's like a legit badass, and him being like, oh, what? I thought I was like hot shit, like in the Italian mafia, but you're like apparently hot shit too. And she's like, I'm kind of hotter shit than you are. And he's like, that turns me on, and I love it. So
that's awesome.
I think if you liked Yvonne, like it definitely gives me like those vibes.
I like it. Well,
this is exciting though, because we need to read Curtain
Story. Yay!
Okay. We want to sprint for another 30 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we will go until 45. Hello, everybody.
Just as things went back to like, bam, bam. I'm like, oh shit's about to heat up. Woo. I love this last comment we got about the pig farms. It made me laugh.
Oh my god.
I literally don't know which mafia has a pig farm. So
No, what book has a pig farm?
Shoot, which should I
I mean,
read
I know
about?
people. I know that they would like chalk people up and feed them to pigs. Like there's a Criminal Minds episode, but I don't know which mafia.
I've read one.
Like, what do you
I've
mean
read
when
one.
you by all the mafia talk?
I was about to say I vaguely remember reading some mafia where they did have to dispose of a body and there were pigs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Oh,
And I
cool.
watched that Criminal Minds episode and that one was disturbing.
Yeah. I mean, but Criminal Minds has everything. There's not a single thing I've read in a criminal book or mafia that hasn't been in Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
It's
It's true.
Like literally from still beating to mafia stuff, like it's all happened in Criminal Minds.
Aren't there a million seasons of Criminal Minds too, though?
Yeah,
Yes, I love it.
Oh,
I
wow.
got my sisters addicted to it. My mom's like, why do y'all like to watch such a scary show?
I've said this, like literally my family, we watched the CSIs, NCIS, Criminal Minds, and SVU. Those were the family shows we watched. So I literally know where my primordial love of dark romance comes from. And it's because I literally watch sick, twisted stuff with my family together. Cowboys and dark romance. That was my life. That's where I got.
I do not remember, though, the Fallen Men having a pig farm.
The Dawn.
I do now. Yeah.
The Dawn was in there. Okay. All right. It all centered. Okay. You're saying all the talk, whereas like I think I've read one where they mention it, but you know.
Interesting. Where is it? Is Lilith Vincent a pen name for someone?
Is that
I do not know.
Is that
serious?
Brianna Hale?
Is it? I didn't want to say that and be like completely wrong, but I thought it was Brianna Hale.
Well, I thought I saw Tamika talking about that.
Okay. I couldn't remember what name it was that was her pen name.
That would make sense because there hasn't been many Brianna Hale books in a while because a lot of her books that came out hadn't done so well recently.
Gotcha.
Oh, they're doing. She has special covers for First Comes Blood. I didn't see these. You know her
Are you
First
on her
Comes
Instagram?
recent ones. They the original ones has a girl on it, and these are the new covers.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah. That's a serious. I heard.
I want to read that. Did you not like it? Was it not your jam?
Well, no, but isn't that one Reverse Harem?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love Reverse. I've been on a weird kick, and some of them that I'm reading aren't good, but I'm still reading them. It's just I can't help myself.
It is like it's the thing. It's the thing. I don't really have a desire to read. I've been burned so many times. I've tried so many times.
Where did you see that cover, Madison?
I was just when I looked up Lilith Vincent on Amazon,
Oh.
and I just scrolled down like a hot sec, and bam, they were there. There's actually 2 covers that are like that.
Although I just read Control Freak and I loved it. I just read that book last week. I really liked it.
It reminds me of the Priest cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Whoa.
Oh, they're hardcovers.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Can you not? I'm actually surprised that this is the first time it's happened, considering that it's a Friday night here in New York, and I'm like in the heart of Manhattan. That's actually quite surprising. So, also,
Is it just common for people to feed bodies to pigs?
it's
I did
a
not
really
know this.
effective way at getting rid of.
they'll eat anything.
Yeah.
That's why.
How did I not
Here
know
you go.
this?
Dispose of the
Okay.
evidence.
But let's not say
That's
it's
disgusting.
common. Let's not say it's common. I think Renee maybe just read some subsequent ones that happened all at once. So then it's like, oh, it happens all the time. And I was like, I think I've read one where it's happened. I know it does happen, and I have heard of it.
Oh, Pageant comes out on the 11th. Oh,
Monica,
okay.
this is so funny.
But
That's so.
My dogs do not do this, but
yay for Brutal Vows, Renee. So happy. So happy. About to finish Brutal Vows. I know. I did not want to finish a page. I literally was like dragging it out, but
Is that book 5?
book
Yeah, Raylan.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like that, so I got that book the day that I like lost my job, and it was my like recovery book. I was like, things are gonna be okay as long as I this book. Yeah. Hey, reverse harem works for a lot of people. It is the thing. It is working. It does not work for me. I've read.
Yeah, I do need them to be very individual though.
There are a couple I have on my list though. Like there's this author I found on TikTok who has a historical romance one where she's promised there's lots of sword crossing in it, and it's like it's gonna be a multi-book with this, and her personalities for her different guys, like she's done TikToks of like the personalities of each of them, and I'm pretty intrigued. But I'm waiting till the second book. Oh crap! You're asking hard questions.
You can't like talk about a book and then not know what it is. No.
Hold on 1 second. I have it on. It has a beautiful cover too. It definitely does have like the new Bridgerton cover vibes, but it's a very beautiful one. Hold on. I think it's called something beautiful, but what? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Beautiful Things. It's called Beautiful Things by Emily Rath.
Oh,
and it has this kind of cover, but this is a reverse harem.
Yeah,
that does not look like a reverse harem. Looking at that cover,
I know, but it says like there's a hint. It says a Regency reverse harem, so it's there. But she had this really cool TikTok where she explained, here's the different levels of a reverse harem, and I only want the ones that have this level, so she broke it down. I was like, yes, this is what I want. When people say there's a reverse harem, I want them to explain this to me. And she did this thing about how confusing it is because, like, okay, with Menage, you can see an MMF or an MFM or an FF, and like you're supposed to know that what's ever touching is touching, which number one, not all authors understand that when they make it that. So you'll see MMFs that are really MFF. And she's like, well, it's really confusing even more so with the reverse harem because no matter what order you put the letters in, there's going to be M's that are touching even if the N's aren't touching at all. She was like, people might go MMF, MM, or they might go MMMMMF, and she's like, no matter what you do, the M's are touching, but it's not a thing.
Yeah.
So, Den of Vipers. So I read Den of Vipers before I even knew what a reverse harem meant. Like, I didn't even know that that's what that book was. Well, I knew it was a why choose. Like, people were calling it a why choose.
My thing is, which is something that, like, I have a friend who's, like, really, she's, like, very stuck on this. And it's the fact that, like, we call them reverse harems. Like, it's supposed to be all the guys around the one girl. But, like, some of them are really just, like, actually, flat out poly relationships.
Right. Yep. My favorite one is a Kay Webster and Nikki Ash, and it's legit.
No, I was trying to get dog hair off my keyboard, and I swiped, and it like swiped my screen back.
Oh, well,
sorry.
We were still here. It's good. And it's literally like there's 4 people in a relationship, and if anything, one of the men is actually the like center of the, but it's a woman and it's a woman and 3 men. So at one point the series was labeled reverse harem, and then it was labeled like a why choose, and then it was like it was during the time where like that relationship type didn't really have like a category on anything. Yeah. So when I read it, it was called it was just called a poly relationship. And I love it because it's literally exactly what I want. All 4 people have individual relationships, and then they have a group relationship together. And so they all individually love and care about each other. Whereas whenever I feel like it's labeled as reverse harem, it's supposed to be this thing where like, oh, a woman just gets all the attention with everybody. And like, I don't want any person to get all the attention personally. Some people do. They want the woman to get, and I don't. I want everyone to get the attention.
I've never heard of why choose. Is that like why choose one, choose all of them kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of menages that are just called that too. When it'll be like a why choose. This is a romance where the woman doesn't have to pick one. Like that. That's what it'll.
I don't know why. I just don't like that. The way that why choose sounds. It sounds like, oh, they want me to choose, but I don't want to, so I'm going to force them to be in a relationship. But that's not. I like polyamorous relationships and reverse harems and stuff. So I don't know.
Well, it sounds like, it makes the person sound like indecisive then when it's like a why choose, when instead it's like, no, like we are choosing. We're all choosing to be together. It's not a like the woman's the only one who gets a say. Like I don't really like that, but some people do. Like everybody has what they want. So
I didn't realize that All Sinner, No Saint was a Serena Ackroyd.
Yeah, I just looked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's motorcycle?
Yeah, it says a why choose.
Yeah.
A why choose dark MC romance, The Hell's Rebels Collection, Book 1, but there's no Book 2. And it came out 2 years ago.
Oh, so it was originally 2 books?
Maybe it's going to be a series, and she just decided not to.
Well, it connects in with everything else because they show up. Like I haven't read theirs, but they show up in one of the other ones.
In like her filthy series?
Yeah. They show up actually like in the Dawn and the Lady. That couple like pops up. That group pops up.
570 pages.
Yeah.
Well, this says it was originally 2 books, and she put them together for All Sinner, No Saint.
Oh, that's
Serena has a ridiculous.
And one's the mom's book, and one's the daughter's book.
What?
That's what this Goodreads says.
Yeah, that's what the Amazon thing says. Says this collection consists of titles that were originally published, Their Sinner and Their Saint. You can now enjoy both mother and daughter's books in one collection.
Yeah. And she also has multiple names for a lot of the books too. Like Filthy had a different name because it was a standalone book. And then she rebranded it as like there's alternate covers for Filthy that literally are like, it was just like a standalone dark romance. Because Finn, the hero of that one, he's not technically related to all the other brothers. He's like adopted into that. So it was a standalone dark romance. And then that is why, like, even when you go to Amazon, it'll say that Filthy Rich is the first book in the series, but like Filthy technically is the first one because it sets up everybody else. So she's done, I mean, that's a part of marketing when you're a full-time indie author is like rebranding, renaming, recovers, like all of those are like getting audios now. Like her other like reverse harem series, like hers and theirs and whatever, it has a bunch of pronouns as the names of it. That's like a woman with like 5 billionaires or whatever. Because of course there's 5 billionaires who are
5 too many. Like 5 guys.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, the mother has 5 men and the daughter has 3. Yeah. So I just didn't like. I read the first one, and they were so that series was serialized in the beginning too. It was back when like a lot of authors serialized their work. So there was like 9 books in the series that were then put into 4 books that are now made into like it's. When I was gonna have her on my channel, I did a whole like deep dive on it, and then I was like, nope, I'm gonna stick with the Filthy series. I'm stepping away. I'm sure these are great. Yeah. Yes, they showed up in Filthy Hot. Thank you, Renee. I knew that they showed up because that's when I heard about them, and I was like, these people sound like they probably had a book because they seem very defined. Like, yeah. So, oh my word, people are talking about Wolf Gone Wild, and you are teasing me. Don't talk about it.
Someone was talking about always practice safe hex. I'm like, guys, I haven't read it yet. Shush.
Yeah, I know.
That cover, the color is so pretty.
Yeah. I literally don't have makeup left on my face because I read that book today. So just take that for what you will.
Jenn, why?
It's for happiness. I can tell you it made me happy.
This is the first one that I don't know anything going in.
Yeah. That's your fault.
I wasn't a beta reader. I didn't do anything. I know the general plot.
Yeah.
Well, usually I'm with her every step of the way as she writes it. We have our plot parties where we talk about like the plot of the book. And so I'm usually very involved. But I was like, hey, school, can't do this right now. And she's like, that's okay. I was like, I'm just going to experience it as a regular reader this time.
Yeah.
Aww.
So good.
I am excited to read more of Serena Ackroyd's backlist. She's a lot.
Yeah.
I read her.
I tried one for Wolf.
It's like a detective ghost series. That was kind of fun.
I tried one for Wolf ones, and I think I need like that one was a reverse harem too, though. And so My only issue with those is like they're all one series, so I didn't fall for any of the people in the first book, and it didn't intrigue me enough to want to keep going. It was just like a weird choice where to stop, because that series is an ongoing one, so I barely even had feelings for one of the wolves, let alone 3 of them. And then I was like, I don't want to keep going. But she has like every genre she's done. She has Mafia and fantasy and paranormal, and like she said, detective.
I didn't realize how like spread she was. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun because then if you do love something, there's like so much more for you to read from.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm honed in on, if you were gonna start, where would I start? I mean, I would start with Filthy. Come on, like I would start with Filthy. But
though I think the first book's not the best.
Yeah.
But would you say they get better in the series?
I think it's up and down. Like, okay. I'm not good. Like I gave 2 of the books in the series, I've given them 6 stars. I gave the second one and the 4th one 6 stars, and I've liked everything just fine. I think it depends. Like, Filthy is like too long, in my opinion.
That's what I only got halfway through it, and then I switched to something else because I was like, this is getting too long. But I feel like with every book that has a long series, you're going to have some books that you love and some books that you don't. Like, it's unrealistic for someone to be like, I read 17 books from one author and they were all 5 stars. I'm like,
yeah, no, I don't feel that way about anybody that I've ever read. Okay. Maybe Cressley Cole. I maybe give all 4 books 5 stars. Not everybody would. I maybe give books 5 stars. But probably nobody else. And they probably aren't all 5 stars. But when I read her book, I'm like, it's 5 stars. Like, I have to put her on her own scale because I'll be like, oh, this one wasn't my favorite, but it's still 5 stars because nobody does. This is one of those scales where I was like, I'm biased to this author's scale. So anyway, Jacob Morgan, yes. Finn, no. Did that one get redone? I thought when and Kai did Filthy, but she also redid the audios for some, so that could be true.
Why would they redo the audio?
Well, she wanted to. So what was happening? I'll tell you. For Filthy and Filthy Rich, she had the same narrators do both books, and she was going to have Wen and Kai like do the whole series, but then she wanted to change it up because there was a narrator's voice that she felt was like better fit. So I thought that Filthy stayed with the same couple, but she recast because again, these narrators show up, like they'll show up in other books because her POVs come back, like the POVs stay. So she like recast them all so that she wasn't going to have the same couple in every one. So there were 2 versions of the audio for Filthy Rich. I actually listened to both of them. So, but I didn't know that Jacob Morgan did Finn unless she recast that one too. I don't know. I didn't re-listen to that one. So anyway, you just left the live show to see it. Yeah, did not enjoy that.
I am excited. Is this the Anastasia one?
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. Is that what she's writing now? Is that next? Okay.
Yeah, she just started drafting.
Is Kingmakers done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although she's writing like little on her Patreon, she's doing like mini novella, like short, like stories, like super short stories.
Okay.
Oh, I saw that because someone put.
She did on
the Joker.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't even know she had another book, and then I was like, oh, it's from her.
I know. I had people being like, "Is this book out?" And I was like, "If you go pay $7.99, you can have it right now." But it was cute. It made me cry though, so I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Made you cry?
I'm about to say Jen cries for a lot of things.
It takes place before a certain thing happens.
Oh, it does. You have to re-experience it.
I'm not spoiling it, but I'm saying no. We don't have to.
We
don't have to experience it, but the person
you have to experience the emotion.
Oh, I know exactly when this is going to take place.
Like, on the phone, and I was like, Sophie,
no.
I love you, but I hate.
I would cry too. I would cry too.
Yeah, you will someday.
Oh, I'm gonna. I didn't know that. I have it sitting there. I haven't gotten to it. Damn it!
I've only read the first book, so I have no idea.
I know. That's why I'm like,
That's okay. You'll cry.
They know. The people that know, they know what I'm
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm on the 3rd book.
Well, you've read The Rebel.
Yes.
So you know what happens to someone.
Wow, if it didn't make an impact on you, that says a lot.
Yeah, like if you don't know what happened to Ozzy's someone,
Oh, okay.
that person, he
Yeah.
talks to that person on the phone. And I was
Oh,
like, and
okay,
it's like, oh, I love Shay. And I'm like, stab me. And stab me some more times. Anyway, okay, moving along. Yes, I just punched myself very hard. Yes, I'm excited for Anastasia.
How's everyone
What
liking them?
else? Oh, go ahead.
Are you guys liking them though? What you guys? I don't know what anyone else is reading because I didn't come in.
Well, I was going to ask what everybody else is going to plan on reading also beyond what you're
Sure.
currently reading.
Good plan, because we could talk.
I'm reading Carnal Urges on tomorrow because I wanted to like read it during the day so I can like actively vlog myself while I'm reading it, not at nighttime when I have like I'm in bed. I'm like, I really love this book.
Right? Yeah, I think you're gonna really love that book.
We know I will. I'll message you.
You better. I'm a little bit biased towards it, but it's a thing.
That's my next one.
Yep. I'm reading a Romanian Mafia book. I was saying it's called Keep, and it's going really good. It definitely has like, I don't know. I'm not mad at it because I'm not like overly attached, but it definitely had like this woman who had been basically kept as like a sex slave. She gets not even rescued. She just gets taken by this other boss because he doesn't like what he sees as being done to her. So he's like, I'm taking her. And she's like, you can go or you can stay. And she's like, well, if I leave, that other guy's just going to take me again. So I'm going to stay. And they're not like in love with each other yet, but she very easily is just like, well, this guy's going to protect me. So I'm just going to give myself to him, which I'm okay with that because it's Mafia. It's fine. But also I'm like, don't really see love building yet. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not mad at it, but it's also not like impressing itself on me. Like it's not having any big faux pas where I'm like, she's too traumatized for me to believe it. Like it doesn't show me her trauma or anything. So I'm just kind of like, okay, she's finding a way to live. Cool. But it's not like, this isn't one that I'm going to be like, I'm going to remember this forever. It's just like, it's okay.
Okay.
So, but it's interesting. I've never read a Romanian Mob before. It's a shorter one too. And there's like 7 books in this series. And some of the other couples she's like setting up, like I would keep reading. I don't hate this. So that's good. I don't know what else to say. The first book I read for the Readathon, I hated it. I literally did the Grinch thing where like, hate. Loathe entirely. That's how I was feeling about it.
That was psychic.
I know. So I don't hate it. It's fun. It's fine. It's sexy. It's interracial. It's curvy heroine. It's, abused woman is now like free, kind of, sort of. So good. All good things.
Anybody else? What are you guys reading or going to read?
Oh yeah.
I'm almost done with Tears of Salvation by Michelle Hurd. I'm having a good time with it. I have 2 other Michelle Hurds on my extended TBR, but I have Run Posey Run, which I still haven't read yet. I'm excited. Dark Queen, Tori's reading that right now. A Bullet Between Us, and Mafia Mistress. So those are the books that I want to read, and I'm going to start another one tonight because I want to read all of them.
That's a really good TBR.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Michelle Hurd? Because I keep seeing she always pops up for me, and I've never tried her before.
I really, this was fun. Like it's kind of like low angst and more just kind of like they're both badass characters, both of the hero and the heroine. One's in the Russian mob, and the other one is the daughter of the Colombian cartel head. Her mom runs it, and she has kind of like a dual personality. She pretends like she's a socialite, but she's actually moonlighting as this really badass girl. So I'm having fun. It's cool.
Oh, I love that.
Loving one. I still have on the official one, I have a Julia Sykes? I've read a few of hers before. And this one is like, it's an FBI guy and then a lady in the mafia, I believe. So that's cool. Another one in that series is a woman. She's like Penelope in Criminal Minds. and she's just gotten her like field license, and she gets kidnapped by a mafia guy. That was one that I really loved, so I want to read more in this series. And this FBI guy is like the guy that she was like in love with when she was in the FBI. So I'm excited about that. And then I have Mad Mafia Love, which I don't actually know who the author is because I don't have that one. So those were the other two that were like officially on my TBR. But I also want to read the Michelle Hurd, and I also have Kingdom Fall by A. Zavarelli. Are the other like they're my peripheral if I get to them. So
Nice.
Siobhan, yeah. Okay. She has a lot of backlists. So
Michelle Hurd has so many books.
Yeah, she has a lot.
I feel like she's just popping up so much now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like she just like really started popping up a lot for me.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's one of those like the covers of that series is really beautiful, and they're really catching on with people. And so once you have that series that does it, because like I'd seen those covers for a little while, but I hadn't snapped one up yet. And now I'm like, I'm gonna grab it. I'm doing it. So
Who's in charge of the Underworld King series? Because Tears of
Jenica
Salvation
Snow.
by Michelle Hurd is part of that.
Yeah, Jenica Snow.
Who is?
Jenica
okay.
Snow. Yeah, she has another one. I just read an arc of another one coming out in that series.
There's 25 books.
But Jen, they're not really connected though, right? They're not connected because this book just connects with her. Oh, okay, because Michelle Hurd's connects with her whatever Academy series or whatever.
Well, and that's why like a lot of the authors have done their recovers already. You know, because it's like it's like Juliet being in Smarty Pants. Like she can do a new cover for her book later on. But Jenica set it up. So yeah, they started releasing in like November last year, and they did waves of release. But like Jenica, she's still putting books out connected with it because it was her. And there's another author too that's putting out some more in it. But most of them just did one, and then it like connected with their own series. Like a lot of them did. So.
And then they recover it to match their series.
Yeah, if they want to. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like Paige is saying. So yeah, a lot of them connected with. Which was a cool idea. I mean, I read a lot of
Monarch Academy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the covers for this series all match, even the Tears of Salvation one.
Yep. Yep.
Matches the Monarch Academy?
Well, then like the Fixer, I can't remember who that author was. Ellie Isaacson. Like she used the same model. She just changed kind of the font around it. And she has another one coming out in that series. So yeah, it was a cool idea. I just got burned out with them because I tried too many authors I hadn't read before and a lot of them didn't work. But there's a couple 5-star books in there. So it was worth it.
I get that.
I mean, it was a good experience. I like the idea. I just think there was so many books connected with it. Like so many, and I got arcs for all of them, and they came out like day after day after day. I was like, okay, I took on too much. I have Girl Boss Too Close to the Sun. There's so many.
Drowning a bit, and you're like,
yeah. But some of them were really, really good. Like, yeah, I liked the Trisha Wolfe one, the Michelle Hurd one. I liked Sophie Lark's in there. So yeah, I liked a lot of them. But
I didn't know Trisha Wolfe had one in there.
Yeah, she did. Hers was what's the other one I mentioned to you, Jessen? Didn't I tell you another one from there?
Yeah, you did, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
Marriage and Malice is one.
What did you say?
Marriage and Malice.
Yeah.
That's your Underworld Kings one.
Yeah, there was another one that it wasn't Trisha Wolfe, it was but that one was this woman who was kidnapped. And then the guy in it, he's the one who's supposed to find her. She's going to be auctioned off on the black market. So she's like tied to a chair, and he's like the tech guy who's supposed to find her and then like rescue her. And then maybe the person who kidnapped her isn't a stranger, is the tease kind of thing. So
is this one of the ones you were telling me to read from? I have Kingdom Come.
Yes.
Kingdom Come? Okay.
Yep, that's it. Who's that by?
I didn't write down the author. It just says Kingdom Come.
Okay.
That's on.
because then it's this like thing of like, is he gonna rescue her just to put her back in the arms of the people who like did this to her? I don't know. It was good. I like that one a lot too.
That's not Monica James, is it? Because she has a series called that.
No, that's not the same one.
Okay.
No, because this one was part of Underworld Kings. I don't think she had one in there. Okay, this one was Aletha Romig. There we go. I knew it was another really dark romance author. Because Crystal Wolf and Aletha Romig, they're not the same author, but they have a lot of books that are like to me. Yep. See? Renee knew. Because like, see too, that one got a new cover and it's like very similar to what the other one was.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah. So those were my favorite out of the ones I read, but I actually only ended up getting through like 10 of the 25 because there's still some more that I do want to read. Like the A. Zavarelli one I want to read. And
that's so many books though.
I know.
Right. And that's why I kind of just like fell away. I was like, okay, I'm just got a little overwhelmed by all of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm hoping to read 4 by Sarah Kate and Rachel Lee. I don't forget where I was talking about it, but someone had written it's Mafia Credence by Penelope Douglas.
Oh yeah.
Because I guess it's like a stepdad and his sons. I don't remember what it was.
So does she choose between them, or
I don't know if she ends up choosing.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just curious if they all end up together.
I don't know. That would be a little weird, but
yeah.
I mean, but see, that's also the thing for me too. Is like, is it really a reverse harem if she picks one, or are you just?
Well, I don't consider Credence a reverse harem.
No, I don't. I absolutely don't. But I'm saying when people say it's a reverse harem, but then the heroine picks one, I was like, it's not a reverse harem. Then she just was. It was like a love square, a love triangle. Like she was dating them all until she picked someone.
Yeah.
Like I don't love that. But some people do.
But I like hearing about new authors. Like I've never heard of K Blue before. So
yeah, me either.
Yeah, beyond the
is that one in the series I'm reading, Annabelle? Because I'm reading K Blue right now. The one I'm reading is literally the first in a series of 7 books. So
this is the first one in its own series.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Romanian Mob. These covers like all look like alien romance. They do. Like, look at this. This kind of looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Totally
when
does.
you shared that on Instagram, I thought he had scales, but then I realized it was
tattoos.
Because like the series as a whole, they all have that like vibe of that.
Yeah, that or it's like an urban paranormal alien, like aliens that come down to Earth.
Right? They all look like that. But, I mean, they came out in 2016, so I mean that's definitely wow. So the series is complete then. Good to know.
I know I hate when I start something. Like I love duets, but I hate duets where I read the first one before the second one is out.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Well, it's
authors try to do them close together.
Yeah, that's what's nice nowadays. A lot of authors are doing them close up. But like I just think of like what there are so many series that I think I read like back in 2016, 2014 that like I read the first one and then just nothing happened. Like 6 years later.
Are you still reading Mafia Darling, Jess, for the readathon?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Like literally what do you do? You're like, I haven't read the second one yet. I didn't realize it was a cliffhanger because I was like, surely Jess wouldn't just stop after
I'd never continue.
Oh my gosh, because I was like, oh, there's 2 out, there's gonna be a third. It's Mafia. I was like, there's gonna be one about one couple, next about a next. No, they did a large cliffhanger, everyone. You immediately need to read the next one.
I have Mafia Darling downloaded to my Kindle.
Well, and also again, and Tori did agree with me. We talked about Mafia Darling is like you must have it with Mafia Mistress, otherwise they're just chaotic craziness. And like they are chaos, which is great. Like they are messy, crazy people. And oh my God, Mafia darling, I was like, you crazy broken people, I love you so much. You've gotten better. If you should read a bullet between us. Oh man, I don't know. Flip a coin. Use a spinner wheel.
Have any of you read
That's what I do.
Us?
Hell yeah. First round draft pick for that one. I read that before.
Read that. I keep looking at it and then picking other things. But no one.
It's unique in my opinion. Like
that's what I've heard. It's very
unique, and I'm like, I have not heard a peep on when the next one is coming though.
I
that
think
was really different couple.
I think I saw her make a TikTok that she's drafting or something at the moment.
Oh my gosh. Because it's been over a year because I read that one before, like, or was reading it for the Readathon. I know that I read it around the Readathon last year, either before or after, right after.
And I bought it way back then, so I had to dig on my Kindle. I'm like, where is it? I know I have it somewhere.
Yeah, and it's a stunning cover for like it's great. I loved it, and yeah, that was one like she emailed me about that one, and I was like, heck yes, I'll read it. Sounds great. But
you know what? It's weird because on Goodreads it doesn't even show up that it's part of the series.
Yeah.
So like.
But I feel like sometimes that's a good
move. Before us, a war. Oh, she has them, just not.
Yeah. Because then if people just see that one, because you can read that one as a standalone. It doesn't have a cliffhanger for the next one. There just will be a next one. It's going to be about, that one will be about the capo, I believe. This one's about one of his brothers. But he's a very smart capo, and he has his men in all different avenues of like, he has people all over the place. He's very smart.
Well, she just put a bullet between us into KU, so maybe she's gearing up to get the rest out. So they'll all be like as a KU thing.
I hope so. I mean, I expect that once she gets closer to being ready, then we'll be able to, you know, until there's a cover, I never fully believe a book is coming. Even then. I'm like,
even then I'm gonna come out.
Yeah, even then I'm like, we'll see.
That's fair enough. I feel that.
But like second books are always harder to write. You know, they're always harder to write. You have a great idea.
If you're an author who's like already drafted like 6 books and then is like, nah, I'm gonna start putting them out. Because the authors that put out books every 3 months. I'm like, there's no way you didn't already have these done and we're just like.
Yeah. Well, or sometimes they're building up to it. Like Maggie Cole wrote literally a book a month for 18 months. I'm not saying that's human or sustainable. And now she has then she took 4 months off and she's 4 books into the next series and she's going to start releasing them one month after the next.
That many books at one time is so intimidating. I'm just like, I will never catch up to you.
It is. If you miss one release, you're already, I mean,
right
look at it. Like
way
when
behind.
we did the Mafia Readathon last year, like the 3rd one had like just come out.
Yeah.
And she put out 1 a month until January. Took 3 months off, and now there's gonna be 1 a month for the next like year too. She said the next series is gonna have like 12 books in it. She's like, how many books is too much in a series? And I was like,
that's too much.
5 to 7.
Right. I was gonna say like 8 is too much.
Yeah. But it depends. Like it depends for some people. I don't know. Like having read all 10 of these, I would have been mad if she had skipped one of them. Like I'm glad they all got one because I love them all. But
I like 5 as like when it's something's like a series. I like 5 as like the because I feel like when there's less than 5, I feel like there's always some sort of a character that you're missing out on.
Yeah.
With that last one.
Well, and then it's a lot of buy-in. You know, it's a lot of buy-in for people who want to read it in order. Like there'll be people that I tell them, they're like, tell me what your favorite 3 books in the series are. And I'll be like, okay, there are these 3. But the reason that one's my favorite is because I read the other 7 before it, but go ahead, read it. And then, you know, like when people ask me where to start with Sophie Lark, I'm like, well, you got to start with Brutal Prince. I'm sorry, you should start there. And then I give them a list of 12 books and I'm like, have fun. You can, of course, read whatever order you want. But this is my recommendation.
So I think historical romances, like, yeah, you can read a lot of them out of order, but sometimes it's way more fun to read them because then you see all the couples Again and again, you miss all the little. I'm such an Easter egg person. Like I love Easter eggs so much. Like I just read Omega's Obsession, which is Heat Haven book 2, but it's like a full length Omegaverse book, and Heat Haven comes beforehand. It's like only 100 pages, like you don't have to read it. But the best Easter egg ever is in the proper first book, and I laughed so much when the Easter egg happened because it was just so much fun. But if you didn't know that, you wouldn't get it, and you just like gloss over it so easily and not think much of like when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about like what kind of reader the people are. Like, you can be a reader who doesn't give a crap about the order. Like, that's totally fine. If I'm gonna love an author, like I want to read them all in order. Like I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. So.
For this comment, I think that KU is definitely worth getting.
Yeah,
I agree. I love KU.
Like at least 3 books on KU. I feel like it pays for itself.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have a pretty good pace. Like I've seen you comment quite a bit of how much that you read, and if you read more than 2 books a month, depending, if you're buying $4.99 books, like it only takes 2 before it's worth it. Like, oh my gosh, it only takes 2. But if you're only reading 2 books a month, or you're getting them only when they're on sale, like, or using your library. That's the thing too. Like, I only use my library for audiobooks. I don't use it for, like, I know some people do get their ebooks from there.
I use my historicals.
Yeah, I don't. So, yeah.
I do prefer series that are, what are they called? Oh my gosh, standalones in the series. I prefer those. But I don't think that spin-offs count as being in the same series.
I think spin-offs should be distinctive enough to be able to be
Read
read
alone.
without having to go back if you want. But if you're like, oh, I want to go back and enrich the world, it's a choice. But I think they should stand alone by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question about that, like spin-off series. You know Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas? I don't know how many of you guys have read that. That's like a spin-off series, right?
Yes.
Someone commented, because we're reading that for our book club or something, I think in June. Do you have to read the first?
It's a next generation. It's a next generation.
I just didn't know if, like, you would miss anything.
I haven't read it yet. I would ask Jess.
You get more out of it because you like get to see like all the characters as parents and like how they were as kids, but you don't have to understand the story at all.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
It was totally random, but someone left a comment, and I was like, I don't really know how to respond to you because I don't know.
No, that's like a spin-off that you're supposed to be able to read it by itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, we have been going for 2.5 hours now. So we will wrap it up. Good luck with everybody's reading this weekend. We still have 2 full days left.
Yeah.
I need them. So,
and just as like Mafia announcement, the wrap up live show will be on my channel on Sunday. What did I say? Did I say 7 p.m. Central?
I don't know what time.
8 EST. Yes.
So if you want to enter for the prizes, it's in my Instagram. If you go to my bio, there are signed books. This is open international. The author's willing to send you international. So you can have a 3 down as a bingo, black, like whatever. Basically, you just have to have read almost 1 book. That takes it off to get it. Because if you follow the hosts and you got it. So yeah, please enter by 5 p.m. Central on Sunday because I will close it so that I can draw during the live show. So that's my announcement.
Yay!
Woohoo!
All right. Well, thank you to everybody for hanging out.
Yeah.
See you guys Sunday.
bye.